What is up, everybody? It is your man Isaiah Wilborn back with another episode of the Blitz and Banner podcast. I'm glad if you're tuning in tonight. It's a little bit late. It's about 9:15 here on the East Coast. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. I'm gonna try to actually keep up with this channel. I've been saying that now for like a year, so we'll see if it happens. But I'm gonna try. So that's all I can do is at least try to see if this channel can continue and I don't take any extended delays. So, but we'll see. But tonight's video is all going to be about the Eagles schedule release. So, as you know, the schedule it's been leaked now for the last couple of days, but definitely starting to now. I guess now it's 8 o'clock, past 8 o'clock, so the schedule has been released. So we're just going to kind of run through it. I'm going to give you my thoughts, see what the Eagles season will be like, and at the very end, give you, of course, my final record. So let's hop into it here. The very first game we got is going to be Week 1 versus Washington at home at 4:25. The home opener, season opener at the Link. Um, the Eagles for the last 5 years have actually opened up the season on the road, so a little bit of unfamiliar territory. Commanders, we don't know how Jaden Daniels is going to be this year. Of course, his rookie year, he was very good. Last year, he kind of got into some injury issues, but I do expect the Eagles to win this game. I don't really see him dropping the home opener at home. I have the Eagles winning by at least a touchdown. I would say if I had to give a score, I would probably say 28-21. I think it is going to be close. Division games are always pretty close, but I think the Eagles will pull that one out and get the dub against Washington. So that is week 1 again, September 13th at 4:25. Not to kind of go off topic, but September 12th is Temple versus Penn State. Belt to ass, belt to ass. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't even gonna get into it. Belt to ass. But anyway, let's not get too far off topic. Week 2, we go to Nashville, Tennessee, where we face Cam Ward and Carnell Tate, new rookie with the Titans. I also expect us to win this game. I actually do think the Titans will be better, of course, this year. They got some more talent on their team. Of course, on the defensive end, they have Jeffrey Simmons. I do think, like I said, they will be better, but the Eagles, they just have too much talent for Tennessee right now. I actually think the Eagles win this game by at least 2 scores. So I would say I would say by at least 13. So whatever you think that score will be, I would say at least by 13 points, the Eagles will walk out of Nashville with a win. Really good game to go to, by the way, too. Day trip down to Nashville for the weekend. Really, really good town. So week 3. So week 3, the Eagles will go to the Bears. So of course, last year, Black Friday, the Bears came to Philly. The Eagles lost that game. Terrible game, by the way. That was a terrible watch. But I do think actually the Eagles will get their revenge this game. I do like Caleb Williams and the Bears, but I do think the Eagles owe them from what happened last year. So I do think they actually go into Chicago and win. I think it will be a really close game. I'm probably going to say about anywhere from 3 to 5 points is my bet. So anywhere from 3 to 5, I think the Eagles do go into Chicago and get a dub. Again, another nice trip to go to. Chicago in September, really beautiful city. Not too cold in September. So definitely, if you're trying to go to an away game, I would definitely recommend going to Eagles at Chicago in week 3. Week 4, that gets us to the Los Angeles Rams at home. That's going to be October 4th, a 1 o'clock game. As you remember, last year we actually did beat the Rams. I'm pretty sure that was a 1 o'clock game as well, which is kind of weird because I feel like the Eagles and Rams are two of the better teams in the NFL, and for it to be at 1 o'clock, but it's another story. I actually think the Rams might win this. I wouldn't be surprised. The Rams have a really good team, of course, with Matthew Stafford. We'll see with Puka Nakua. He's been having some off the field issues. We'll see about him. But I do like the Rams personnel. I like their offense. Defensively, they got some good guys. They got some Jarrett Verse, whatever his name is. The back end, they added Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs, so that's a big addition. I hope I'm wrong. I will say, I hope I'm wrong here. I actually do think the Eagles lose this one. I'm gonna say they lose by 3 at home to the Rams. If you remember last year, they probably should have lost that game to the Rams at home, but it came down to the Jordan Davis blocked field goal. There's actually two blocked field goals that game, but if you remember, he blocked it, took it back to the touchdown, and that's what got us the dub. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles did win now. I will say that, but I do think the Rams, really good team. I think this is really the Rams' last shot to get to the Super Bowl and maybe hopefully win it. We'll see, especially with the age of Matt Stafford. But I do think that is a tougher game. And like I said, I do have the Rams winning that game by 3. So we'll see about that. Okay, so going to week 5. So going to week 5, we're going to be going across the pond to London. We'll be playing at Wembley Stadium. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's always tough going across the pond to a different country and having to play, especially when you played the week beforehand. I just don't think Jacksonville's that good of a team. I think our defense can really kind of stifle their offense, you know. So I think the Eagles do win that game again by around 7 to 10 points. I just don't really have that much trust in the Jacksonville offense. I know they got some guys. I know they got Brian Thomas, who kind of had a down year last year. I do expect him to bounce back a little bit. I'm not the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan. We'll see how he does this year, but I think the Eagles do win that game in England against Jacksonville. And then that brings us to week 6 against Carolina. Carolina, made the playoffs last year. That's actually the worst division in football. I have a couple of friends who are Bucks fans, and they swear that that division's really good. No, that division's garbage. So I'm actually not worried about the Panthers at all. I think the Panthers are going to have a down year because now they have a first place schedule. I actually have the Eagles winning that game. Is that in Carolina? Oh no, it's home. Yeah, I have the Eagles winning that game by 2 touchdowns. Last year at home, Carolina actually gave us a run for our money. I don't think that's the case this year. I think the Eagles do win that game against Carolina. Okay, going to week 7. And before I even get to week 7, right now I have the Eagles as 5-1. Oh no, yeah, 5-1. So going into week 7, we have the Dallas Cowboys. So that's October 26th at 8:15 on Monday Night Football. That's a win. That is a win. Now the thing is with Dallas, I feel like we always split with them, and I know we play them again later on in Thanksgiving. So I think we win this home game at least. Can't really say anything about Thanksgiving game, but I do think we win that home game. That's on Monday Night Football. I think the Eagles do take that. Like I said, we usually always split with Dallas. It's kind of how it's going the last couple of years. So, week 8 at Washington Bummanders. That's a win. I think we sweep the Commanders, and you want to know why? Because Josh Harris is a bitch. That's why. Josh Harris is terrible. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. And we're gonna sweep his football team that he decided to purchase because he just wants to purchase every pro franchise up and down the Eastern Seaboard. So that's a sweep on Washington. I'm not worried about them at all. Like I said, I don't even think Jaden the Cinnamon Stick Daniels can stay healthy. So if he ain't healthy, Washington, I hope you enjoyed your run 2 years ago, but now you're at the bottom of the league again, like you are supposed to. So yeah, week 9, the Giants at home. That's also a dub. I'm gonna say it's gonna be close. I will say it's close. Like I said, all these division games are gonna be within 3 to 7 points. I mean, you don't really see division teams getting blown out because they know each other, they know you. But I think they win this game again against the Giants. The Giants haven't really had success against us outside of that loss we took last year in the Meadowlands. Of course, this game's at home at 1 o'clock. I don't see the Giants going into the Lincoln beating us. So yeah. Week 10, we got the bye. So get some rest. All is well. Then we go to week 11. So week 11, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do I even got to say anything more about Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh hasn't won in Philly since the 60s. Who's their quarterback? If there's any Steelers fans watching this whenever I release the video, please type in the comment who's your quarterback, because I honestly don't know. It's not Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't think he signed yet. Who else you have? You have Will Howard from Ohio State. He was kind of mid. And then you got the guy from Penn State, Drew Aller Akbar. He's garbage. If he's starting for you, the Steelers are going to win 4 games this year. So I actually hope Drew Aller starts for the Steelers because he's terrible. So please let Drew Aller start for the Steelers. That's all I got to say about that game. You already know who I'm picking to win. I'm picking the Eagles to win, of course. Uh, then week 12, we go to Dallas. This is where I say this is the Thanksgiving game. This is where I say I think we split. It's always tough playing in Dallas for us. Dallas, of course, another division game. They know us. We know them, as I said earlier. And we don't really sweep Dallas that much. So I think Dallas does take that Thanksgiving game from us. And if you've been keeping track here, that's only 2 losses. And we are now heading into week 13 at Arizona. So I got 2 losses on the schedule so far. Week 13 at Arizona. Who's Arizona's quarterback? It's like the Steelers question. Is it Jacoby Brissett? Because Jacoby Brissett, I do like him as a backup. He actually had a decent year in terms of passing yardage last year. He was really feeding Trey McBride the ball, which I enjoyed because I had Trey McBride in fantasy last year, so I loved it. But yeah, I just don't think Arizona has the offense. I mean, I know they have Marvin Harrison Jr., but we have an elite defense. I mean, the Eagles have a really elite defense, and I don't think an offense that's ran by Jacoby Brissett will end up beating us. So apologies if I'm wrong about the quarterback, but I think it is Jacoby Brissett, at least as of what, let's say the 15th, the 14th, as of 5/14, Jacoby Brissett is a quarterback for Arizona. Okay, that gets us to week 14 against Indianapolis. Where that's home. December 13th at 1 o'clock. That's a win. That's another win. And I'll ask this question again. Who is Indianapolis's quarterback? Is it Trent Richardson, the guy that wants to sub himself out after he played like a quarter and then he got tired? Because if it's him, then I that's definitely a win. That's a win by at least 14 points. So, like I said, I'm not really this schedule ain't even that bad. So then we go to Seattle. Oh no, 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 we're home against Seattle. I actually have this as a loss. What is this? The third loss I think on the schedule because Seattle, we struggle against Seattle. Like literally my childhood, I feel like we probably only won against Seattle a handful of times, whether it be at home in Seattle, on a neutral field. It could be anywhere, and we'll probably still lose to Seattle, unfortunately. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about my predictions in which we lose, but I do think we lose to Seattle. And again, that is going to be what day? That's another primetime game. That's December 19th. What is that? The Saturday before Christmas or something? Yeah, something like that. That's at 5 o'clock p.m. The Eagles have a lot of, before we even get to the next week, the Eagles have a lot of primetime games. I mean, I think I counted like 8 or 9 primetime games or something like that, which is kind of crazy. But hey, I guess we move the needle. So week 16. So week 16, that is gonna be, oh, so that's the Christmas Eve game. Okay. And that's gonna be on Prime Video Thursday night. And that is against the Houston Texans. I think this is actually going to be a close game versus the Houston Texans, not at the Houston Texans. Apologies, but yeah, versus the Houston Texans at home. I think it will be a close game. I really like Houston's defense. DeMeco Ryans, former linebacker for the Texans, I believe, great defensive player back when he played. He definitely has solidified that defense now. Big fan of Derek Stingley Jr. A couple of them guys that they have on the defensive line there. But offensively, it all really depends on CJ Stroud. What is CJ Stroud going to do? Will he limit his turnovers this year? Because that has really killed him the last 2 years with turnovers. Outside of his rookie year, where he kind of, his rookie year, he really took care of the ball. But then since then, he's been kind of turning it over like a baker. So besides that, I mean, we'll see. I do think they win that game. But that brings us then to Week 17 against the Niners at San Francisco, and that's going to be on Sunday Night Football. That's actually the fourth loss I have for the Eagles is at San Francisco. That's a tough game. And I think by then we're kind of going to have everything wrapped up. I think San Fran can still be trying to fight for a playoff spot. So I do think, going out to San Fran, that's a very tough game. So I do have us losing that. And as of right now, that is 4 losses. And then finally, week 18 at New York Giants. That's a win. We take over that stadium. It's kind of like when Knicks fans talk about how they take over the Xfinity Mobile Arena. We take over MetLife Stadium. So you can have all that NBA bullshit and, but we'll just take over the NFL stadium that you have. So that's fine with us. And I think by then, even if we do lose that game, it ain't going to mean anything. I think that's a game where last week of the season, everything's wrapped up. Maybe you play your starters for like a quarter or two. Don't want them to get hurt, especially on that MetLife turf. You never know about that. So, but yeah. So I have the Eagles going 13-4 this year. So the only losses I really have them is San Francisco, Seattle, Dallas, and then the Rams. So I think that this is going to be a really good year, especially for Jalen Hurts. I'm really excited to see what Makai Lemon does. Um, and overall, I mean, I'm just very excited to see what Sean Mannion does with this offense. Kevin Patullo sucked. It can't be worse than that. So I'm very happy to see, Sean Mannion, and I'm hearing reports that Jalen Hurts is really open into playing under center. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like everything I'm hearing out of training camp so far sounds pretty good. Or not training camp, but just early season, off season talk, I guess you want to call it. But yeah, the only kind of concern I have is our DB's coach. So you remember Christian Parker, who was our defensive backs coach, has actually left to be the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm kind of curious to see, how he's doing with the DBs. I'm not really too worried though, because I think Coop and Mitchell have a really solid knowledge of the game. I mean, they've been playing football their whole lives, so I don't really think a coach is really going to affect too much of what they do. But it is going to be, interesting to see that, along with the new offensive line coach, I believe, from Minnesota as well. As you know, Jeff Stoutland, not with the team anymore, got a new offensive line coach. But like I said with the DBs, I mean, these guys have been playing football their whole lives. Got Lane Johnson. I know he's a little bit older, Mulata, but I really think these guys can play. And now, with Dickerson coming back, hopefully he gives us another 1 to 2 more years. You just hope that they can stay healthy. And, the good thing about unfortunately being eliminated in the playoffs early last year is that them guys got an extra 4 to 5 weeks of rest. So we'll see how that really affects them, heading into this season. But I really have high hopes. I think we can go 13-4, win the division, maybe even challenge for the 1 seed in the division, with maybe like a Seattle or a Rams team, something like that. But we'll see. I'm very excited to see what the Birds do this year, and I'm very excited to see where this channel can go throughout the rest of the NFL season. So again, just a really quick rundown of what I think the Eagles will do this year, how the team will be. Thank you for hopping on this video and watching. And as always, Celtics still suck. Peace.